Hi, this is Matthew to talk about another Who album in my Who albums in reverse order series. It is now Who Are You, which came out in 1978. The last album with Keith Moon. Unfortunately, he died 3 weeks after the album came out, which is crazy. I guess him and Pete Townsend were really going into drug and alcohol abuse. They were drifting apart, doing solo things. There were arguments between band members. Keith Moon, I guess, struggled to play his parts. In fact, one song they had to use footsteps and cymbals on just because he could not do it or couldn't think of what to play. I don't know what happened, but honestly, the best drumming is on Who Are You, I'll be honest. But it sounds good. It's still him. You can definitely tell the drummer a difference between even Kenny Jones and him, even though he's I guess not at his best form here, which I'd never even thought about, because Who Are You is such a strong drum track, just thunders along. Yeah, that was going on. Unfortunately, it did very well commercially, though. Critics didn't. It was mixed reviews for critics, but it did very well commercially from what Wikipedia says about it. I liked it. It's only 9 tracks, though. It's very short. This is not the super deluxe version that's coming out on October 31st. It's October 9th of 2025, so it's not out. The only version I could find on Apple Music is that version. However, the main album is there. All 9 tracks are there. I was able to hear it, and it sounds really good. The drums are very clear on it and stuff. I really enjoyed it. I know after I played the album, I went to another one of the tracks from the Glenn Johns. I think it was track 11. So that's there. Most things are not, but they're slowly kind of teasing release songs from it. They're releasing some of them. But the main album is there. So I didn't miss any tracks, which is cool because I didn't think it was going to work. I'm like, oh, well, it's here, but you just like, hey, you can add this to your library now and it'll show up. But some tracks do work, so that is good. So I was like, where's the? I don't find any other versions. There was a version in the 90s that had some extra tracks on it. That is not what I found. Just the original release. I think some of those may be on they're in the Super Deluxe somewhere, perhaps, maybe buried. I'm not quite sure. But we should be able to get a track listing and see what it contains. But I really enjoyed it overall. I thought it was very good. I guess Roger Daltrey had throat surgery, but you can kind of tell in some songs. But there's some really nice high vocal stuff on some of the tracks. I think the things that were from his Never Realized Lifehouse, I think it's called, album that he was trying to never quite made, but has made some things of existing material. There we are. At various times he's put things. I think it's Life Houses. I'm not sure. But just lots of things were happening in the band here. It was not a good time. Obviously, Keith Moon, died. I think from alcohol abuse. I'm not sure if drugs were a factor. I've not looked up how he died, but it was tragic. This is the last album to feature him, so he was on 8 albums out of the 12 they've had. But yeah, this is that one. So it's just what's happening there. So we have the following tracks, though. Also, yeah, everything's Pete Townsend unless it's otherwise stated. Oh, okay. Well, this is the original album, and then MCA reissued it here in '85. I'm not sure if that was a global thing. I think they had multiple labels. It was Warner Brothers for the last couple. I don't know who made, or I forget what it was on the last 2 recent ones. This was MCA. I'm used to the Beatles only having like one label, and I know that other bands struggle with keeping label deals, which the Who, I guess, did. This is side 1. Has Yeah, new song. I liked that one. I like all of the tracks, all 9 of them. Very interesting. There's some strings on some tracks. There's some synthesizers used. Some piano, of course, just in the standard Who guitar, drums, bass stuff going on. Nice guitars in places. I had enough. Yeah. But John Entwistle wrote that one. I forget where I think he sings a vocal somewhere. I forget where. I don't know if Townsend sings any. I know Daltrey is pretty prominent on this album vocally. 905. That's also John Entwistle. I think he has performed those live when he did solo stuff before his death. At times he's performed that with. He had the John Entwistle band apparently, which I've never heard. That would be interesting to find those. Sister Disco is next. I didn't realize that was from this album. I have that on a 2-disc set of their greatest hits. It's on the second disc. I assume it was like Quadrophenia or something, but it's from here. Music Must Change is next. And that completes side 1. Side 2 was 6 onwards. With Trick of the Light. Also John Entwistle, he performed that one with his group also. I know they only performed about 4 of these songs live. I don't think they enjoyed making the album. They didn't like what they were doing. It was a rough time for them. A lot of friction and division and stuff going on between band members and stuff. So unfortunately. Guitar and Pin. This is some of that. That was one of those that has some of the higher vocals. He sings not falsetto, but just higher in his range. That very much sound like a musical concept-y thing, which is from that Lifehouse's project that he didn't ever finish. It was coming down definitely, and I want to see even the track before that maybe, but definitely these 2. There's some nice stuff going on here. And of course the awesome Who Are You ends the track at 6 minutes and 21 seconds. Probably the best drumming on the album to me from Keith Moon. They just sound really good. They just thunder along, and he just seems to be in a good spot. But others, it still sounds good, but Devi's not the same drumming style. I guess they wanted it to be simpler, but complicated drumming is what he did. So I'm not sure why you would want to have him do something differently, but he was all about complicated drums. So I don't know. It was a rough, period for everybody. So considering it was a success, and number 2 here, I think in 6 in the UK, that's pretty good. Got platinum status and stuff. So it worked, and it's a good album. It just things were happening internally with the band. So it's only how long is the album? Oh, 42 minutes and 13 seconds, okay. The 96 release I was talking about, the remastered edition bonus tracks they had on it were it starts with number 10, No Road Romance. I don't remember if any of these are on that Super Deluxe. I didn't look down that far. I was just kind of looking at like the Glenn Johns mix and stuff, but I want to say these are here, but Empty Glass was a demo track from Pete Southton's subtitled studio album that he had. And then we had 12, Guitar and Pen was the Olympic 78 mix of that. I want to see some of these are on that set, but whenever that comes out and I get a chance to kind of go through some of the additional stuff, I will see if any of that's here. I believe it is. Love Is Coming Down is a work in progress mix of that one, so kind of just a rough mix of it. And the last track is Who Are You Lost Verse mix. I'd like to hear that one. I know that one is on that set. I think all these are on that Super Deluxe 7 CD set that's coming out in a few weeks. On Halloween. I'm pretty sure all that stuff is there. Somewhere. I think most, if not all of it's on that. I forget now. Since I did that review, or that when I overviewed it. Our people, of course, are who, of course, is going to be Roger Daltrey on lead vocals and percussion, Pete Townsend on guitars and backing vocals, synthesizer, and lead vocals on Sister Disco. I think that's the only thing he does. On the bridge, No Room Rent Empty Glass. He's doing some vocal work there. Tom was almost bass guitar, backing vocals, synthesizer, and brass, and Had Enough on Music Must Change. Leading vocals on 905. That's what I thought. Yeah, there's some nice horn stuff. I enjoyed the trumpets on that track, which was Had Enough. Yeah, there was some nice trumpets on that. But I played brass, I played trombone, and I like anything with horns. Keith Moon on drums and percussion, backing vocals on guitar and pen, apparently. He's doing some. I didn't know he did backing vocals. I didn't know he ever sang. I've never heard him sing anything, as far as I know. Additional people: Rod Argent with synthesizer on Hard Enough, piano on Who Are You, keyboards on guitar and pen, and credited on Love Is Coming Down. Yeah, I had headphones in. I didn't realize Who Are You. I don't remember a piano being there, but I've just never heard it before. It was nice. There's a little guitar in the beginning, a little acoustic. I don't remember hearing either. Not sure, just because it was the AirPods just being in my ears and blocking everything out, or if they did something in the surround mixer when they enhanced that. I don't know, but it sounded good. Your ears may vary on whatever you hear this thing on, so on whatever service you want to use, or if you have it on disc or vinyl or something. Tape even, probably. Ted Astley was a string arrangement. I believe that was his brother-in-law from Townsend's brother-in-law at the time. But he still does some stuff with the band still, so he was involved at this stage. The strings were nice. I liked on that track. They were really nice. Any Fairweather Low, a new song, Hand Enough, and Guitar Pen and Love Is Coming Down, and Who Are You? Yeah, I think he's on the latest album, I want to say, if I remember right. Billy Nichols backing vocals on Had Enough, a new song on Had Enough. Michael Nichols on Had Enough. Unknown drums music. Drums on Music Must Change. They don't know who the drummer is. That's weird. Why don't they know who it is? Is that Wikipedia, or is that actually on the liner notes? That seems odd to me. But I wonder who these Nichols. I wonder if they must be brothers or something. I don't know who they are. Does anyone know? I need to find a book on the Who, I guess, and read about them. But I don't know those two. They must be related in some way. Surely. Yeah. I enjoyed it. Look out for that Super Deluxe coming out in October on the 31st of 2025. Go check that out if you can get a hold of it, or you can stream it. Probably new things seem to come on there at 11 p.m. Central Time, so midnight Eastern. You probably, if you want to stay up late, if you're not going in anywhere in the morning, you could listen to some of the album. I might have to check out that. I think it's on maybe that might be a Friday. I'm not sure when that is right now, but it's on Halloween. I'll be here at work doing reviews and stuff, but I might have to check out that, at least some of that Glenn Johns mix they didn't use, because I know on the one track I could hear part of, just because I didn't want to hear all that at the time. The drums were different on it. I think it was one of those like alternate mixes or something, but it would be interesting to see what he does with the mix based on what they used otherwise. We don't have like the engineer credits. None of that is on here. It just goes down to like the charting positions on Wikipedia. I don't have... Someone neglected to put all the production credits in, so I don't know who mixed this right now. I don't know why that's not here, but it's not so I don't know who. I know that they didn't use the Glenn Johns stuff at all, I don't think. They must have had some involvement at different times with the band, like he did with so many other people at that time, but they did not use his mixes for this. They went with somebody else, which is not listed here, and I forget who it was right now. I thought I had said in the stuff about the Super Deluxe, but I don't remember who it was. So, unfortunately, I can't tell you. And I'm not quite sure how to look that up, or I'm going to find it easily. So I won't do that, just because it would take time, and I don't know how to always. I can usually find things, but I don't really feel like digging for it right now for that. But at least we have who played on it, which is, I think, more important for most people. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty good album. Definitely things were happening with the band and stuff. Unfortunately, and then Keith Moon, unfortunately, had to die. I don't know exactly what happened. If he just, I don't know, OD'd on something, or I don't know what his cause of death was, but it was very tragic and definitely set the Who back a bit. It was a hard drummer to replace, I would think, just because he had such interesting rhythms and timing and all that. But yeah, that's all I think for the moment. Go check that out. Should be able to stream it in some form wherever you want to do that. I do want to check. I might check after this and see. I didn't look down to see if there are any promo videos or anything for this. By 78, music videos were not a thing. Of course, MTV was a few years away from this point. But I know Roger Daltrey was concerned about them being relevant with punk, stuff happening at the time. So definitely some things were happening with the band that, were unfortunate. But I think it happens with you're around people so long and you're there with them all the time and you see them, for weeks and weeks at a time, months at a time. And you're in hotels together and vehicles together and planes. Things happen. But yeah, my next one will go back to the Who by Numbers from '77. So we'll see what was happening at that time in the year of Star Wars. What was happening with the Who? I'm sorry, that was '75. I'm sorry, not '77. It was '75. Oh, so I guess maybe it and Quadrophenia came out at the same time. I believe that's the next one in Apple Music order. I'll have to check that. I think that's right, though. I think it was after Quadrophenia. But I'll probably get that one to next week. I don't know. I'll just see how long Quadrophenia is if I feel like doing it also. Seeing as that is a rock opera, I don't know. Because Tommy is longer than most of their albums would have been at the time. But we'll get to that at a different point. But yeah, that is Who Are You by The Who. And we will see what happens in other albums as the time goes back to the earlier periods and all the success and hits they had and everything. All the concept albums and rock operas and things like that. It'll be kind of interesting. But at the moment, I think that'll do it, and I will see you guys in another video.